Now the next thing we have to do is tie the registry key we're just after creating and set it to run automatically by scheduling this cleanup to run on a timetable. So we have to open Task Scheduler and create a task that will run this cleanup automatically. This is not difficult to do, just copy what I am going to show you. First we have to open Task Scheduler. So go down here to Start, click on it, go to All Programs, go up here to Accessories, click on it, and go down here to System Tools and click on that. And down here at the bottom, near the bottom, Task Scheduler. So click on that guy, and the user account control will prompt you, do you want to allow the following program to make changes, and click yes. And then Task Scheduler will open. So go over here to Action, click on it, and go down here to Create Basic Task and click on it. And the Create Basic Task wizard will open. Now type a name for the task and a description, and then click Next. So type in a name. We're going to call it this cleanup. And a description: clean drive of unwanted files. You can put in whatever description you want, or whatever you want to name it as well. It doesn't really matter, but this just makes it easier to find when you want to change the task itself. Click Next. Task Trigger window will open. Create a basic task. When do you want the task to start? So the trigger, I prefer to leave it daily, as you can do it weekly, monthly, one time, which is not advised. When your computer starts, when I log on, when a specific event is logged. So I'd leave it as daily. You should clean out your hard drive from unwanted stuff from the internet and files that you deleted and registry keys and all that. It's just good to clean it daily. So click daily and then click Next. So the daily window will open. So start date is stating the 27th of the 11th. That'll be usually the day that you actually set up the task. And the time, what time you want it to run at. So it's set for 10:05. So you can set it to whatever time you want, really. You can set it to, say, 8 in the evening. Synchronize across time zones. Just click that guy. And recurs every 1 day. So that means that it'll run every day. Now click Next. Click on Set a Program. So what you're doing here is an action. So start a program. So it's looking for a program to start. So click on Start a Program, and then click Next. And then it'll ask you to find a program to set up in Task Scheduler. So we now need to set up a program script, and this will be on the Start a Program window. So type in clean mgr.exe, and the next thing we have to do is add an argument. So the registry key that we set up earlier, we have to type in a siege command here. So SAGE siege run :1. start in optional. You don't really need this. It'll run because we've already set a time. So click next. And now this is a summary of your setup for running disk cleanup. Clean drive of unwanted files. Trigger daily at 8 o'clock every day. Action, start a program. Clean mgr.exe siege run. That's the command. That's from your registry key. So now we're set. So now you can tick the box if you like. Open the properties dialog for this task when you click finish, but you don't really need it. You know what's set up. So we have all the details here. So just click finish, and now that task is set in your task scheduler. Now to check to see your scheduled task, just click on Task Scheduler Library here, and you'll see it. It's the third one down here. Now if there's more than, say, there's 6 there, but if there was more than 6, you'd get a scroll button that would come down along anyway. So it'll be, and in this case it's the third one down, so disk cleanup there. So, and it gives you the general information here down the bottom. So you can see it fully if you pull over the window. There are 2 more important areas I would like to show you while we are in Task Scheduler, which gives you control and information for the task you set up. They are Enable All Task History and how to change and edit your settings. The first one we will look at is Enable All Task History, which gives you information about the running history of your task, and in this case, disk cleanup. So what we need to do is enable task history. Let's do that now, and I will show you where to find the history. So this is the button that we need to tick, not to tick, but just to click on it to enable all task history. Now, this is the history section here, this tab here. So history will change to history disabled, and it will change to history once I click on enable all task history. So click on it there. Now if you ever want to disable it, all you have to do is press that button again, this guy here. So now you see the history, it changed, history disabled, it changed to history. So now if we go up to task disk cleanup, click on that, and you'll see the history here. So it says completed task, action completed, create task processor, action started, task started. It's just giving you the information to see did it start and did it finish. Task completed down here on a specific date and time. So I run it manually just to have this information here so that I could show you. So that's enabling all task history so that you can see the information, so you can see whether it disk cleanup did run or did not run. And the next one I want to show you is how to change and edit your settings. This gives you control over all the settings that you set up earlier. So if you want to change the time that the task runs or some other setting, you can do so. So come down here to disk cleanup, right click on it and go down here to properties. and the disk cleanup properties window will open. So it will open on the general tab, and this just gives you general information about disk cleanup and the scheduled task. So it gives you the name, disk cleanup, location. These two, disk cleanup, the name and the location cannot be changed. If you want to change them, you will have to delete the task and start again. Now the description can be changed, and then security options down here. I would leave all these as the default as they're set up when you set up your task. So if you want, you can change them, but run only when user is logged on. It's a good idea to only have one person running the disk cleanup so it doesn't get confusing. So leave them as their default as they're set up. Next one here now is trigger. So this is the day it runs and the time it runs. So if you wanted to edit that, say if you wanted to change the time, you'd highlight it and then go down here to edit, click on edit, and the edit trigger window will open. So begin the task is on a schedule, and it's set for daily, and we have a time set here for 8 o'clock in the evening. Now I would leave these settings the way they are. You can change the time if you want by just clicking on it, say change it to 10 o'clock at night, click OK, and then it'll set it to 10 at night. So it's completely up to you what time you want to run it at, but make sure it's on daily, and if it does miss one day, it'll do it the following day. And these advanced settings, I wouldn't go near these at all, so that's okay. So action. Now this is your starter program, so it's the details. So basically this is clean mgr.exe is your disk cleanup program, and this siege run is the command that we set up earlier in command prompt by setting up the task scheduler settings. So these are fine. So again, if you wanted to delete them, delete the whole task and start again. And then conditions, again I'd leave this as the default. If you're on AC power, you'll want to stop if the computer switches to battery power. I'd leave that one unticked, especially if you're using a laptop, because you do really need to be cleaning up your hard drive. And wake this computer to run a task if you wanted to. If it was in hibernation and you wanted to start this task while it was in hibernation, this would turn on the computer if you tick that box there and run the command and then go back into hibernation again. So again, I would leave all these settings as they are. The settings tab, specify additional settings that affect the behavior of the task. Again, I would leave all these the way they are. You can, if you want, play around with them, but I wouldn't, because they're fine the way they are. And then that's just the history tab, gives you the time it last ran. Okay, now there's just two other things I want to show you here. So if you wanted to delete this task, you come down here and click on delete, and it'll delete the task from the task scheduler. So it'll just basically remove the task from the scheduler, and then this cleanup will not run on it. And another one here is, if you wanted to run the task manually, just right click on it there and then click run, and Task Manager will run disk cleanup and clean out all the files that we set up earlier on it. So that's it, your disk cleanup schedule has been set and it'll run automatically. So you can just close this now. So go File, Exit, or you can go over here and close with the X. So that's it. You have set up your disk cleanup to run automatically on your Windows 7 PC or your Vista PC.